with the trend of globalization, right, and educational exposure, right, women have, there's this consistent question that we've always been asking regarding the stereotype associated with, we the ladies, and the fact that there are some things that are limited, or there are some things that we are limited to do as a woman. You're welcome to the Lifestyle Show here on New World TV. As to remind your girl EJ, thank you all very much for joining. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for subscribing. Always joining. So we are very much grateful, and you all are very much welcome today. Today we'll be treating the topic, is a woman's place truly in the kitchen? I know. It's very, very exciting, right? It's a very entertaining topic. And with me in the studio today are very familiar faces. You guys are very, very familiar with them. All right. So we have May. You're welcome.
I'm back again.
Yes, she's back again. She's been here I was saying earlier that she's one that I started with. She's more like the person that birthed the show. Thank you very much for coming.
I'm honored as always.
Please, can you introduce yourself?
Again?
Yes, please.
Of course, with pleasure. My name is Martha Mega. I am Chief of Staff in an organization that tackles climate change.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Anytime I call, she will always come. Thank you so much for coming, okay?
My pleasure.
And then we have Mr. Frank and Nelson, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell us what you do?
Okay, I'm a lecturer in ISC University.
Right.
I'm a psychologist.
Exactly. At least he finally said it. He's always hiding from it.
Actually, I'm not. I wasn't hiding.
All right. Thank you guys for coming. Okay, I'm so grateful you guys, regards your busy schedule, are able to map out time to, be here. So the topic is a woman's place truly in the kitchen. Okay, we're just going to go straight to questions. I have a few questions for you, Mr. Frank, and then I also have a few questions for you. Both will be representing both genders, so then there isn't that stereotype. Let me not say anything. So then we're going to begin with you. First of all, what do you understand by the topic? Let's begin with that.
Looking at a woman's place in the kitchen, right? First, we are saying that we are considering a place of woman in the society, like the societal expectation of woman, and how he or she, how she is supposed to be seen, or what is expected of her to do, maybe in the home or society at large.
All right, then. Are you in support of this?
Well, honestly, a bit. But I think if we get more into the subject, I'll give my perspective.
Okay. So, Mr. Frank has given us a definition. It should be a definition, right?
Is that a definition?
Well, it's kind of like his perspective or his understanding of the topic. Okay, so let's just go right into the question. So, I'll begin with you, right?
Okay.
How do you think societal expectation has limited your own choices and opportunities in life?
Okay, we are coming from Africa, and
don't be biased about this question. Try not to be biased.
But I mean, we're in Africa. I think we should talk about our culture first.
No, what I'm saying is, as a man, he shouldn't be biased. Continue.
Okay, we say that the society, we are actually Africans, and Africa do not look at they are so traditional. They are so kind of
conservative.
I don't know how to put, but Africa happens to be a place whereby you are limited to a lot of things. We know that Africa is still poor, underdeveloped, or still developing, depending on the country, and the food, shelter, and clothing is paramount. And most times we chase after those things that we do not see the bigger picture of the world. That's why it's as if the Western world and the rest of them are just, should I say, exploring. go into the space, robotics and the rest of them. We are just trying to catch up, try to, some of us, we just, I remember Rick Ross, in his song, he said, I could rewrite history, but I stopped writing and started doing it mentally. So some of us it's just as if we are seeing the whole world right inside of our mind, or do not have the opportunity to let it out because people don't even believe in what you're saying, or they are chasing after is this thing, is it going to give us food, is it going to give us shelter, is it going to give us clothing? And without any of those, my brother, your
expectations are limited. All right, thank you very much. So I'm coming to you, okay? Have you how have societal expectation influenced your career choices or life decisions?
I am gonna start by saying this. When I was younger, it's something I don't usually say, but I wanted to be an astronaut.
Okay.
So imagine a little African girl in middle school having this big dream of becoming an astronaut. But the issue is I'm going to start from my own home. My parents didn't really perceive that well, because like, you as a woman, an African woman, what are you going to do in space? Right. And my mother had another vision for me, including her sisters. They wanted me in a beauty pageant or doing something ladylike. So at some point I had to let go a little bit of what I wanted to do when I was younger that was not really perceived ladylike or was not close to what we experience in Africa typically. And it kind of made me switch a little bit. But honestly, if I would do it all over, I would have probably changed things.
Okay. So your parents kind of also had a hand in the career choices.
As an African, yes. Usually that's what happens. That's our reality.
What do you think about this?
It's true. We are the product of these people. I think a few days ago I was telling somebody that our parents, most of them, higher percentage of what they are telling us that we are supposed to be or we are supposed to do when we grow up, they actually do not have an idea of what they're saying. They just guess and they keep guessing the whole thing and keep going.
I can actually relate with this thing.
And they just tell you as to do this. They have no clue of what they're talking about. Just that it's just by chances. Whatever comes. Whatever comes as adults, they try to minimize the damage and continue.
I remember when they were playing this TV trend on, there was this advert on, the TV, and then we are hearing kids saying, I was still little then. My mom was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, okay, I want to be a musician. And I was nodding my head. My dad came back. My father resented me. My dad was like, your mates are saying they want to be doctors, engineers. You had the effort to say you want to be.
What's that?
What's that? So I can relate. I can actually relate. So I think I should start with you, May. In what ways have you faced gender-based limitation or biases, and how did you overcome them?
If I tell you right now that it does not exist and I'm still not experiencing that, I've lied, because I still do. Even during opportunities, someone will rather pick a man that looks buff and can give orders or that can call on respect than little me. And I remember when I started in my professional, I'm still kind of going through it, I'm going to be honest. Even some of my colleagues as chief of staff, some of my colleagues before they were having difficulties taking orders from me. Because they're probably older and have more experience in the domain. So when I came in the picture, they perceived it in a very hard way. But with time, they tried to exactly, because I had to work twice as hard to prove myself that this position, I deserve it and I can do it properly. And it's all mental. I had to do a major mental work on myself to be able to overcome that.
By me looking at that, you're talking about your size, and I think that could be either a man or a woman. If I should come into a sensitive position, let's just say I'm 25 and I come into a position that whoever that has passed through those positions have always been in their 30s, 40s, and I'm coming in there. Even if I'm a man, for God's sake, people are gonna.
They're gonna look, but it's not gonna be the same, because the harassment that goes with it won't be the same.
It's definitely gonna be the same. You just have to prove yourself. That's all. whether you're a man or a woman,
but for a woman it's harder, because
think
I've seen it with my own eyes. That's why I'm like standing on this point of view, because I have another colleague that took place of a colleague that was older than him.
Right.
It was difficult for him to prove his point, but as soon as like they respect each other as men a little bit more than if it's a woman that comes in the picture.
Oh, okay, I can relate when you say if they are mostly men and you're a woman, and
but they're not used to a woman in that position.
Though?
They're not used to a woman in that position.
But why do that happen? It feels as though they feel we are
insecure. I don't know if it's insecurity. I don't know what proof. Like
we say that
it's the fact that he wants to defend it for me.
I don't know. Go ahead. No, I want to hear his point of view. I really want to hear it.
When it comes to leadership position, it has always been genetically.
Genetically,
yes, it is wired naturally in a man to be in a position in a leadership position than a woman. Naturally.
Who wired that?
I think you're a Christian, right?
Yes, I am.
And looking at how the Bible plays the gender position, it plays the man ahead of the woman.
In what way?
Oh, okay. Between Adam and Eve. Okay, it said man. I'm trying to remember this Bible verse. I think I'm not being very religious.
In Genesis?
Was it in Genesis?
Was it regarding Adam and Eve?
Okay, that regarding Adam and Eve, but it was talking about a man and a woman. Okay, the Bible was saying man, woman, submit to your husband.
That is
but that's in a marriage.
Yeah,
that is in a marriage.
But I can understand his point of view as a leader.
It was this point of view. Now we are now looking at the leadership position. A man is always this.
Yeah.
Now apart from that, you say before in the early 80s, in the 1880s towards the 1900s, we said that the men are actually the people. The idea of men being in control and men being the whole this thing started not actually in Africa. It's not even African thing. It has actually been the whole world.
Yeah, because
everywhere.
we have Amazons in Benin that are actually leaders.
So at some point we decided to delegate these things. So for the fact that it has always been there on the inside of them to be this. When you are coming in, it's as if you are attacking the natural order of things. That's how it is naturally, me looking at it. But we are not saying that we have seen men that behave like women. Yeah. That makes decisions like women. We have seen women that.
But when you say make decision like women, men, do you mean like based on emotion?
Most of men.
Yeah.
So this alteration, this little it's not in everybody, and for the fact that there are few people that can, simply means that we can give it to them. But not that you can generalize that women, So when you prove yourself, when you come in there and prove yourself, say, okay, this is one of the few. Okay, let's let her be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question for you. Okay.
Okay.
How do you define masculinity? I think it's a very it's a relative question. How do you define masculinity?
In one word.
And do you think it is tied to specific gender role or trait?
Masculinity? Of course. Masculinity, in one word, testosterone.
Break it down.
Yeah, I would like to understand.
Break it down.
Do you notice that when a woman, let's say if a woman is actually lying down and sleeping and her phone rings, oh please, okay, people should look for one and get it done, and watch a woman probably when she does things the way she does things, and look at a man. You see a man, maybe when something attacks the man, or maybe he wants to exercise this authority over something, he will stand up. As he's trying to make the call or the voice note, he will be pacing, walking.
You say women don't do that?
I pace a lot.
I don't say women don't do that.
Yeah.
Few does. But we say that the testosterone in men make them so assertive. Make them, as in their drive, their whoever they are. The trait you see in men, both the whatever you consider men to be, whatever you picture it to be, it's encoded in their in the hormones that make them men. So, and we say that what it entails to be a man. I was actually watching something where transgender people were just saying that men could menstruate and all that. So what it takes to be a man is when you have the XY chromosome. So that is to say that what will be dominant in you
biologically,
is the testosterone, and that is what masculinity is all about. So all of the features that come with whoever possesses the higher level of testosterone and what it does, both physically and mentally. That's what it is.
So if these features are also encoded in a woman, we can also say she's masculine in nature.
She can only possess little of it, traces of it.
Have you seen women that jack weight?
They might jack weight, but then at the end of the
literally, we had heavyweight champions that
there was something I said there might always be 10% or few percentage of women that will cross the threshold of what we consider to be normal.
Okay, so the abnormal.
That's okay. If you look at him, if you should come to this earth not looking this way and something stronger than I am, do you think you would tell yourself that you're normal?
No, I mean, that's out of the norm, to be honest, because I do not look feminine. I look masculine.
Yeah. So that's what you're saying. So if you're asking if it's abnormality, you've just answered the question.
It's fine. All right, me. Do you have anything to say regarding what you said?
I'm good.
All right then. What does empowerment mean to you, and how do you think women can achieve it?
Empowerment in general, or empowerment between women?
Between women.
Empowerment.
And then in general. So just pick it one.
Okay, so like what it means to me?
Yes.
Okay. Empowerment, I think the word has been thrown away and left and right so much that we're kind of losing the weight that it has. Between women, to empower each other is to elevate each other, is to be able to strengthen each other, is to be able to support each other, is to be able to help each other find opportunities and allow the society to hear them more. And for me, I think it's important that between women we should empower each other, elevate each other, and make sure we're heard, our needs are met, and so on and so forth.
Would you say that women are being marginalized regards, the need from men these days?
It depends. Can I have something more specific regarding that?
Okay, so, we talk about the fact about equality. It's with regards to what we talked about, equality.
In the professional aspect?
Yes, in the professional aspect. So would you say that we are a bit being marginalized?
It's still happening till now, because you'll see a woman doing the same job as a man and the man is being paid more.
That's not true.
It's happening. It's still happening.
That's not true. The only thing you will say that there are some sensitive positions, there are high-ranking positions that have denied women due to some certain reasons. Probably we say, it's too tedious for a woman, and probably she's gonna sooner or later she's gonna be pregnant and she's gonna go for a leave and all that, and probably the husband might not be a type that will allow you to work weekends or out late. You understand all of those conditions. They now limit it to the one that is conducive enough for a woman who will be under a man and the family whatsoever that comes with it. So that is apart from that, there is no way you tell me men and women working simultaneously and the man is being paid more.
You've never seen it?
No, I've not seen that.
Oh no,
I've not seen that.
That's a reality. You can literally research it. It's something that we're going through till now.
No, it's not. I think football was one example. They said the women are playing 90 minutes, the men are playing 90 minutes. Why are the women paid less and why are the men paid more? And we were like, okay, they are playing 90 minutes, women football, men football. But at the end of the day, in the football world, that of the men generates more money. When we mean more money, we mean millions, billions. You as a lady don't even watch football.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's nice. If you check the number of women that watch football, in fact,
it's not elevated.
Yes, the men actually watch that of the men and still watch that of the women.
So you're saying?
So are you expecting that?
Is it because the men in football, because the football area is quite? I mean, it's different because if you're saying men generate more money, that's why they're paid more. Is that what you're saying? It's because they generate more money?
Saying that probably the place.
Probably.
Yes, everything is just on probability. We are not sure of anything here. If you say there are places, you didn't mention a place, so it's more like we are saying there might be. You understand? So if we are actually looking at this now, it might be due to the organization. Because there, men play 90 minutes, women play 90 minutes. It's just the same football business. But these people are paid less, these people are paid more. And we don't understand why. So if it's the same organization where they are doing same job, same time, and this one is being paid more, please, we should look at the
reason.
Yes, the reason and the whatsoever that is
Should there
behind
be a
it.
reason for that?
Of course, I just give you one.
But they're working on the same time space, Abby.
Okay, are you hearing that?
But it's
The men are generating more money because the fan base alone and the people that are coming to watch the football match are men.
Okay, so what about the organizations and companies? How do you justify a woman being paid less?
That's what we're saying. It depends. We don't even know exactly what is happening in the organization that warrants that.
Should there be anything happening
Yes.
in that organization?
Is it justified?
warrants-
Whatever their, I have a question. Whatever their reasons may be, are they justified? Do you think there's a reason for something like this to happen?
The example I just gave you, did you actually
No, not in the
imagine?
football. Like
We
in
are not
the
saying in
company.
the football. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. If it happens there, we are looking at its same time frame, right? Now this is the condition at which they are being paid less. Now in these organizations, companies, what exactly be the condition with which they pay less compared to these people where they are working the same time frame? We do not know.
I'm sorry. As an employee, right? You're employing a man. You're employing a woman. Your IQ is supposed to tell you that you're employing a man. Both have the same qualities, and they have the same thing to offer you. You're not justified. You're not justified to pay one less and pay one high. Because
I want to know, like, you started well. You should have let him answer, because if you're saying he should be in the position of an employer, and there's a man and a woman doing the same thing, giving deliverables at the same time, what would be his reason, for example, of paying someone less? What would be yours perspective?
Okay.
Yeah.
I will use football again.
Oh God.
For one strange reason.
Yeah.
There are 11 players in the pitch. All of them are contributing equally based on what they are doing.
Yeah.
Do you know some of them in £200,000 a week, some in £50,000 a week, some in £25,000 a week, some in £300,000 a week, and you begin to ask, what's the difference? All of them are sweating, all of them are chasing after the ball, all of them are playing. Everybody in the team is not the same, irrespective of the fact they have the same qualification, the same standards. Everybody is not the same. So if the man is being paid more, now let's look at it apart from the mental skill where all of them would just sit down and brainstorm. A man is not equal to a woman, both physically. Yes.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah. So there are places you might send a man that you might not send a woman. There are things that will require. There are some emergencies that requires a man more than a woman. And we are saying, like I told you, women are 25% rational. 25 to 30% rational, and 75 to 60 to 75% emotional. So when they are ruled by emotions, sometimes you might not trust their judgment enough. And somebody
then why hire someone you don't trust their judgments? You shouldn't even hire someone. No, it's not.
Do you know the criteria?
Let's not put emotion in it, like you say.
Do you know that if I actually want to hire people in an organization, I can actually take somebody that is very, very lazy.
Do you see why I said we are being marginalized?
No.
Let me tell you, it depends on what you are taking. It depends on what the
results
needs. And depends on what the goal orientation is just what we are looking after.
Yeah.
I can actually take somebody that is very, very lazy. Because they can't do the job, but whenever you ask them, they give you the easiest way to get the job done.
Okay.
Just because they're lazy. They just know how to get the job done easily so they can walk away. So at that particular point in time, if I choose to pay this person more because his IQ is higher and he gets the job easily and we pay less, the people that are doing the major job might be, hello, why are you doing this? This is not fair. This is not good. There are reasons. There are a lot of reasons why a company can pay anybody higher than any other person.
Okay.
Please don't gender base it.
So wait, gender base it. I'm gender basing it.
Yeah.
I am seriously gender basing it.
Okay.
In fact, that leads to my question. That was the question I was about asking her. Do you think it's stereotypical for this to actually happen? What he's saying. I mean, when staffs are being paid low, right? Okay. the same different genders doing the same thing, probably brainstorming together and all those things, but one is being paid higher than the other. Should we say this is a gender-based kind of problem?
Yes and no.
Good.
Explain, please.
You see?
Yes and no, because as he said, the question you're asking is going on what he's saying, to be honest.
So it's gender-based.
It is gender-based at some point, because an employer can decide to pay the woman less due to his perception of how he views women.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it's fair. I am not saying it's fair. And at the same way, he can decide to pay two men, one lesser than the other. It really depends on his perception on them individually.
And what he needs, they go here.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, you're mainly talking about women and how they are paid less due to the fact that, so like, yes and no regarding your question, because you're going in his sense.
It's fine. I almost don't have anything to say, because it feels like, can this be resolved? Can women, you see, I think that's the reason why entrepreneurship are being, or the it's being encouraged more.
Yeah, promoted.
Women are being sort of advised to kind of wake up more and do things like handy things to sort of help themselves to avoid these biases in companies and enterprise. Do you get, and all that. So, but final question, we're almost wrapping up. Okay, what advice would you give to your younger women who may be struggling with societal expectation and gender norms?
But wait, before I think you've thrown 3 straight questions to her.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming to you now.
Yeah, which question am I going to respond to? Because there's like 3 questions now.
Yes.
So which one do you want me to?
Yeah. What advice would you give to younger women, who may be struggling with societal expectation and gender norms?
Honestly, it's quite sensitive. It's a very sensitive question. I can't, with my experience, what I can tell young girls is to fight for their rights, what they think their rights are. And if they feel marginalized or something, what I do not promote is victimization. I hate it. Like, don't sit down and say, oh, I'm being marginalized or I'm being treated unfairly and I want to sit down and wallow about it. Fight. There's other ways to get what you want. If you see that you're working in a company, you're treated unfairly, you don't have to stay. You can leave and go towards entrepreneurship and do art and do things where you can feel more. You
do know that money is also inclusive in this.
Yes,
and
of course.
Country like in Africa, I loved what he said when he began with the fact that we have to base our discussion, here in Africa. So with what you just said now, leaving your company, probably the company pays, let's say 50,000 or 60,000 or something. I mean, how do you want to leave such a company to go start up a business when you don't?
It's not easy. Everyone has to find their, like I said, there's multiple ways, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not proning the fact that they're saying men may be more intelligent than women, because we see also the contrary. So I just want women to expand their
horizon,
their intellect. Expand your intellect to find ways to get what you want, and not just wallow in the fact that things are not working for you. If one thing I should say to my younger sisters out there, that's the thing. Don't wallow in your situation. Do more researches, learn, go to school if you need to. Like, even if you need to learn law to be able to defend yourself, do it.
I also wrap up for me. Yes.
Okay. I think that it's high time the women should stop thinking that they are being marginalized. Now, why do I say this? In 1975, there was the first conference on women was held, and it was to promote peace due to domestic violence, to promote peace, equality, and development. The development there is to incorporate them into the society to improve economic development,
For women?
for just the society.
Okay.
Because we say that them staying at home, because before then, we believe that women are supposed to, the way the world was run then was that the men, every economic policies being made were made for men. So whatever they get when they go out, they come back, use it to take care of their wife, their sisters, their daughters.
Yeah.
So now, when things began to change, we say that these women were not comfortable. They you have to make your own. So we decided to incorporate them. Then in 1975, I think the first conference was in Mexico before the New York, Nairobi, and Beijing, China, which was in 1995. So the idea was to bring them in order for this thing to raise this standard for them. So at some point, they actually came up, but then the problem is, when you give somebody power, he requests for more. Not just abuse. They keep asking and keep asking and keep asking. So they now have the opportunity to come into the world and make what belongs to them. But they are still requesting for that which the society was actually trying to take away, which was let them be taken care of. They don't need to suffer. They don't need to do this. Every woman wants to make money, and every woman wants to be taken care of. We say that people came from this rule book and go to this rule book and pick up something, and at the end of the day, it becomes a disaster. So if there is anything the women should do, is to come out, not depending on what has been happening for thousands of years ago, and believe that this place has been made better for them.
All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
We have come to the end of today's show, guys. You guys have heard from the both of them. Okay, there's the thing about picking up. Okay, there's a thing about learning trade. There's a thing about going to school as a lady. And like he said, you can do more. Okay, let's stop thinking that we are still in the past. Okay, the world has evolved, so we should also evolve with it. So there's so many things as a lady you can do. Do not limit yourself, because there's more in you than you think. Thank you all very much for joining us today. Thank you, Mr. Frank, for coming. Thank you, May, for coming. We're so grateful you both were able to join us today. Until we come your way next week, I still remain your girl EJ. Stay blessed, stay safe. Plenty love from me to you. Bye bye.